KGVO Missoula, KGVO FM Frenchtown, AM 1290 and 101.5 FM. Sports Talk Tonight and streaming online at newstalkkgvo.com.
No, it's not you.
Is that us, Denny?
There you are.
All right. Hey, it's us.
You were on 3. I thought you were on 4. My bad.
We've got an octopus full of
Isn't that something?
microscopes.
Microphones.
Yeah. In the studio here.
You're still new to broadcasting, so that's okay.
Sports Talk Tonight. Gurnz and Bedard Wednesday evening in Missoula. Balmy conditions today, up into the upper 20s, I believe.
Comparatively speaking, yeah, it got a little bit slushy, you know.
It did, but we're safe here in the confines of the KGVO studios.
Absolutely.
Sports Talk Tonight. Remember, we are streaming worldwide on newstalkkgvo.com, on the AM dial 1290, on the FM side 98.3. New signal for us.
Yeah, we're still 101.5 for about another couple weeks, and then exclusively 98.3.
You bet. Get used to that 98.3.
Yeah.
Follow us on Twitter at Sports Talk Back. Podcasts online at newstalkkgvo.com if you have a question for us or any of our guests. 406-721-1290.
I guess this answers my question. Did you find all of your notes because our executive producer, Kyle Stensrud, is under the weather and not here this evening? And I thought, oh, man, did he get a hold of Gurnz and tell him, where's his book and all his professional endorsements that he gets highly compensated for and all of that?
Did his Vikings lose this last weekend and he's not oh, wait, they weren't even playing. You got to be in the playoffs to lose in the playoffs, Kyle.
They ate and aided us. Yeah. Wait till next year.
Oh, boy. Hey, and coming up very shortly, once again, a member of the band.
Yep, house band.
Coach Jamie Pinkerton of the Grizzly softball squad.
Always great to have Jamie in here.
You bet. School just coming back from Christmas break, and I'm assuming things are going to start picking up for the softball team here.
Are you kidding? They start playing in a few weeks.
Yeah.
Not in Missoula, but they start playing.
Do they get to go to the 80-degree weather while we're stuck up here in the snow?
I don't know. You're going to
Coach?
Omaha or something, aren't you?
No, we're starting at UNI, Cedar Falls, Iowa.
Indoors? Wow. Cool.
Little dome tournament, and then we go to the 80-degree weather.
Wow. And now in that dome, do they either put 2 fields in there or just one?
One.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Very cool.
So
hey, Coach Jamie Pinkerton, here we go. Let's get him on right now.
Little tease there.
Yeah. Heck yeah. How's it been going, Coach?
It's going well. Started practice yesterday.
Yep.
Brought the student-athletes back a week early and getting acclimated, and practiced yesterday and today and knocking some rust off and looking pretty good at this point. For 2 days in, it's amazing what a veteran team does compared to a bunch of freshmen.
Well, yeah, I ran out your roster on GoGrizz.com, and I'm seeing what are these JRs and SRs here? Are those juniors and seniors?
It's hard to believe, isn't it?
Yeah. You sent all the freshmen to the Lady Grizz basketball team. I think is what you did. They've got so dang many, but yeah.
Imagine Shannon and I could probably exchange some stories right now.
Yeah, no doubt.
Heading into year number 3 here coming up, and I tell you what, it's been a quick ascension to towards the top of the Big Sky Conference.
How do you feel about year number 3? Is that a year that typically so many people will say, well, the third year defines a coach because now they've had 2 years to recruit their own players and acclimate to their system and all that. Do you kind of feel that way? Or?
Well, I probably, I've never really thought about it that way. I know that other people evaluate, and I try not to think about those kind of things. Right. But these, in this case, with a new program, they've been my players from the get-go. So
that's true. Yeah.
We're in a position that if we avoid injury, I think depth. I think what's good about what's happening with our program right now, the depth is building up. We have quality depth. We have a roster that is experienced. We're not going to have to depend on freshmen this year, although our freshmen, I feel, are going to be able to help and be contributors. And, the sophomores, Sarah Stevenson last year was a first team or second team All Big Sky Conference pitcher. So I think we've gotten some experience, and the poll's supposed to come out tomorrow, so we'll see what our peers think of us. But last year we played for the conference championship on the final day, so
exciting.
I feel pretty good about where we're at, and if we avoid injury and stay hungry. I think that's the key.
Is that
staying hungry.
Coaches polls and media polls for the Big Sky will come
We
out
just do
tomorrow?
a coaches poll.
Okay,
yeah.
you can't vote for
I
yourself.
can't vote
so
for ourselves, and
can we ask you who you picked? Who are you concerned about?
You know, I went back and forth. And,
Breaking news here.
Yeah, I went back and forth, and you know, I got to stand by it. Joel asked me if he could print it. I preferred not, but I'm not afraid to say who I voted for. I think Sac State. They didn't lose. They didn't lose a lot off their roster. They were similar to us. They have a lot of returners. ERA-wise, they had the best pitching staff. They had the pitcher of the year coming back, and you know, it's still a game that if you can control the circle, and you generally win. Weber has their pitching coming back, but they lost the player of the year. They lost their whole left side, so they lost a lot of offense. But I think they'll be right there. I think Idaho State, the champions, the 2 previous years coming into last year, and they finished strong last year. I think they're right there. I think last year the top 4 teams pretty well divided out if you look at the standings, but I think Tom Gray at Southern Utah is doing a great job. They won 7 games, and they're on the up and up. But I think, you know, any time, as long as you avoid injuries, it's a key. But I think we can be right there. You know, like I said, stay hungry, stay focused, and keep our priorities in line, go to class, and take care of our classroom work so that we don't have the stress when we come to practice and in the playing field, because they are student athletes. And I think we're a little older and more mature, and I think we can handle that better. And if we can do that, I think we have just as good a shot as anyone.
You're listening to Sports Talk Tonight with Gurnz and Bedard. In studio with us live, head coach softball, Coach Jamie Pinkerton. And Coach, you're talking about the roster and how it's not as young as it used to be. What is the difference as far as, you know, in your years of coaching? Have you seen, 17, 18-year-old gals compared to 20 and 21-year-old gals? I mean, there's a ton of difference, I'm assuming.
It's huge. I don't think in softball we do like you all did when you played football. You redshirt your freshman year. I think men develop a little bit later, but we don't go the redshirt route as much. But they obviously they get stronger. They mature. They become, when they come in, they're 18-year-old girls. They leave as women, and I feel like as a team we're getting stronger and more mature. And when you've been in, and a lot of these ladies have played over 100 games now, so they have that savvy. They're up to game speed, and this fall you could definitely tell. I have a funny story to tell. When we were out there, some of the juniors were saying, talking about the 4 freshmen. It wasn't bad. It was just saying, man, they're young and they make mistakes, and did we do that? And I said, absolutely. And they go, yeah, we don't remember. And I said, you know why you don't remember? Because it was all of you. Now you're older and you have a younger bunch. I mean, we had so many freshmen starting 9 and 10 that when they made mistakes, they just didn't realize it. Now they look back, and I think they kind of see themselves, not in the mirror, but kind of, it's kind of going back and looking at old pictures, and I think they see glimpses of themselves, and they were kind of joking around, were we like that? And I go, absolutely. And you just didn't recognize it because all of you were freshmen.
I got to believe another advantage to that, and again, using Coach Swain and the Lady Grizz as an example, if nothing else, even if you've got upperclassmen who are not necessarily the best players on your team, and in the case of Montana, the 2 they lost were, well, the best players on their team. But regardless, what they're dealing with now is that they just don't have a lot of upper class experience to rely on, just in terms of helping teach and build confidence and say, well, hey, I've been in the system now for a few years. This is how Coach wants to do it.
Right.
But at least you've got that luxury. You've got a couple of kids that have been in the program now for a couple of years, and so they can kind of, I would assume, kind of help you mold and develop those players.
Oh, absolutely. And I think even though the Lady Grizz lost their 2 best players, I think what they still have, and I'm sure is still going on, is those players are able to be an extension of the coaching staff and help those young players.
Just unfortunately can't get out there on the court and lead by example.
Right, and we only had the 1 senior, but basically she was kind of fine on Kinsey Cole when she came in. She's a transfer from Boise. She did a great job of that for us. It was just her, But she was new too, so she didn't know the coaching staff. She didn't know the lay of the land, and I think I think that those two young ladies that are injured for the Lady Grizz right now are probably helping a lot more than the help than maybe even our players had.
Yeah. Stay involved.
Yeah.
Just maintain that fire.
Right.
Say what? Keep your mind sharp because you're going to get healthy and you're going to get back in.
That's
there.
right.
You got to be paying attention.
I would think, too, Jamie, that, by the way, if you have any questions, folks, for Coach Pinkerton, please feel free to call us, 721-1290. We will talk about the Meet the Team banquet coming up soon, and also your season does start pretty quick. It's on the road, but it gets started pretty quick. In terms of recruiting, new program, but a heck of a lot of success for such a young program. That's got to be. I'm not saying, hey, is recruiting getting easier, but I would imagine that maybe there's been a few more inquiries about playing softball at the University of Montana.
I think it's been kind of a little bit of both. I think we're still working hard. Coach Michael and Coach Gomez and myself. I think the newness, people are not flocking because it's new. I think it's flocking a little more towards I think as coaches, I think we're still getting the same number of interest and inquiries, but we're having to work a little harder for our recruits. And I'm saying that not because we haven't been successful. I'm saying that people are not really the ones coming up through the high school ranks now. When we were new, it was out there, and everyone's going, oh, that would be nice to be on the first team, be the one to get the first hit, the first home run, the first W. Now it's more that we're kind of been mainstreamed, and we're competing against other established programs for student athletes and what we feel is an upper echelon of student athlete. And we'll win some of those battles, we'll lose some of them, but I think it's kind of we were kind of new, and now we're kind of in the mainstream. Now we've got to go out and recruit and say, what's great about our program, our new facility, our indoor, the plans to expand that and make that better. And we still got a lot to sell at the University of Montana, but I think now we've kind of been lumped in, for lack of better terms, with other schools that we're competing against in conferences across the mid-major conferences across the board.
Well, hey, we are going to have more with Coach Pinkerton after our first break, but before we go to break, we better get to trivia, and I have a feeling I know what it's about.
I don't think you do.
Uh-oh.
I went football.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, I went football.
All right. Well, you threw me a
Am I eligible
curveball.
to win?
Maybe. What do we got, Denny?
Well, whatever sport it is, if you know the answer at 721-1290, we want you to call right now, and you could be a winner from our sponsors, Fuddruckers and Happy Days Car Wash. We'll give you a $10 gift certificate to Fuddruckers, world's greatest hamburgers. Whatever you order off that phenomenal menu of theirs, you get to top it yourself. You go pile on the pickles and do a ton of tomatoes and a mound of mayo, whatever you want to do. And just about anything you could imagine to put on your burger, you will find at those tables there. So go with what you love, or maybe experiment a little bit. Fuddruckers on North Reserve. And from Brent and the crew at Happy Days Car Wash, we have a gift card for the Works Car Wash. They will do your vehicle upright at Happy Days. Voted Missoula's favorite car wash in the latest Missoulian Readers Poll. Happy Days Car Wash on Brooks, out between Fairbridge Inn and Pizza Hut. So gift card there. 721-1290. If you know the answer. Yeah, I know. I should have prepared softball, Gurnz. I got a little bit lazy because football was kind of top of mind and some things I was talking about earlier this week.
Hold on. You are not lazy. In fact, my wife, when we're driving around town and we're listening to the radio, she's like, is there anybody else that works at that radio station other than Denny? Because he's always on the air. So you're not lazy, buddy.
Yeah. And she's a Vikings fan. I love that Kelsey Guernsey. Hey, Grizzly football fans should be excited about one of our new transfers from Maryland, defensive tackle David Shaw, our latest addition from the Big Ten Conference. Now, in the last 9 years, because this ain't the first, in the last 9 years, which of these Big Ten schools has Montana football not acquired a transfer? Would that be A, Purdue, B, Michigan State, or C, Penn State? 721-1290 if you know the answer. In the last 9 years, which of these Big Ten schools has Montana football not acquired a transfer? You think you got that one, huh?
How many years?
I did 9, 9 or 10.
Okay.
Yeah. Is it A, the answer we're looking for, A, Purdue, B, Michigan State, or C, Penn State? 721-1290 there, Gurnz.
I think I know the answer to that, Danny, but
I
you
bet
never
you
know.
probably do.
I'm usually wrong, so whatever. Hey, when we come back, we'll have the answer and a winner and more with Coach Pinkerton when we come back. Sports Talk Tonight, Gurnz and Bedard.
721-1290 right now.
Downhill skiing, cross-country skiing, snowshoeing, snowmobiling, snowboarding, sledding, tubing, winter in Montana. To enjoy all those activities, you probably have to drive someplace, and that someplace can be a little rugged. You need snow traction and knowledge that you can only get at Jerry Wessel's Les Schwab Tire Center in Hamilton. Like a veteran ski instructor, they can make sure you have the right equipment and get you headed in the right direction with the right tires. Take the worry out of winter driving with a free pre-trip safety inspection at Jerry Wessel's Les Schwab Tire Center, Hamilton.
From novice to expert, tool lovers love Montana Tool because quality, dependability, and product knowledge matter. The tool guys at Montana Tool carry Western Montana's largest selection of Laguna lathes, table saws, and band saws. They're also Western Montana's exclusive Festool, SawStop, and Wood River dealer. A tool store, not a tool department? Yeah, that's Montana Tool. The right tools, the right advice. Montana Tool, 1908 North Avenue West in Missoula.
Montana winters can be rough, and this winter is rougher than most. Now's a great time to buy a new 4x4 from Bell McCall in Hamilton. No more dead batteries, no more waiting for the heat to kick on until you're at your destination. See Bell McCall in Hamilton for a great selection of 4x4s and take advantage of great factory rebates and incentives. Bell McCall Ford, your low-cost auto dealer in Hamilton.
For plumbing and heating services, drain cleaning, installation of garbage disposals, faucets, sinks, bathtubs, showers, and toilets, boiler repair, and more, the easiest way to get it done is with a call to Thomas Plumbing. 24 hours a day if necessary, commercial or residential, no job's too small, and Thomas Plumbing stands behind their work. 100% satisfaction guaranteed. Quality service, reasonable rates. That's Thomas Plumbing. Call or stop by 2327 South Avenue West in Missoula, or find out more at thomasplumbingmt.com.
Now back to Missoula's Sports Talk Tonight on KGVO.
Missoula Sports.
Every second of every day.
We and you are back. Sports Talk Tonight, Gurnz and Bedard, brought to you in part by the Orange Street Food Farm, locally owned and operated grocery store featuring the freshest fruits and vegetables, fresh meats, and a great beer and wine selection. And by Grizzly Liquor, located downtown next to the Iron Horse. Big Sky, big selection. And online at grizzlyliquor.com. And Denny, I do believe we have a winner.
Oh, yes, we do. We got Sean Walker from Clinton, Montana. How are you tonight, Sean?
Hey, I'm doing great.
Thank you so much for finding the show. I don't know if somebody made you do it or you just do it of your own free will. That's rare, but we're glad you're out there anyway.
Oh, you bet. 1290's on my dial every day, all the time.
All right. Well, Grizzly football fans should be excited about our new transfer from Maryland. Defensive tackle David Shaw, our latest addition from the Big Ten Conference. Gurnz, I believe you've described him as a beast. So, in the last 9 years, which of these Big Ten schools has Montana football not acquired a transfer? Is that A, Purdue, B, Michigan State, or C, Penn State? What do you think there, Sean Walker?
That'd be B, Michigan State.
Yeah. Gurnz had to think about it a little bit, but in 2008, who'd we get, Gurnz?
From Penn State, Lucas.
No,
from Purdue?
Yeah.
Brody McKnight. Right?
Brody McKnight. In 2008, we got kicker Brody McKnight from Purdue. He didn't play for the Boilermakers, but he did come from there. And in 2015, receiver and on rare occasion, Wildcat quarterback Tyler Lucas from Penn State. So we were looking for Michigan State. You got it, Sean. We really appreciate you listening, and I will get your Fuddruckers and Happy Days gift certificates mailed out to you, okay?
Right on. Thank you.
Thank you. See you later. Sean Walker, our latest winner there, Gurnz.
Wow. Cool. Clinton, Montana.
Yes, sir.
Gotta like it.
I do.
Got to like it. We're still here sitting with Coach Jamie Pinkerton from the softball squad and eagerly anticipating the start of year number 3. And I was just looking at the schedule, like Coach was saying. They go to Cedar Falls, play in a dome, which is kind of cool. Although I don't know that I would care for the lighting And I don't know what it is with my eyes, but whenever I go watch something indoors, whether it's a Grizzly basketball game or something indoors, it really kind of messes with my eyes. I find that I have to maybe squint, and my eyes are fine. I don't wear contacts or anything like that. But I mean, I stare at the sun all the time. But just when I'm bored.
But keep doing it, because that's how you come up with all these deep thoughts.
Exactly.
By staring at the sun.
By John Handy.
Our show would be weak without you staring at the sun.
I was looking at further into the schedule, and our first home games on March 17th, and we host Seattle and Maine.
Wow.
Of the Grizz Classic, and I mean Seattle, that makes sense. Maine is awesome. We've been there before, but that's kind of cool to bring the Black Bears over here.
Well, they were coming out west and playing in Utah, and they were on spring break, so they called and asked about our tournament. What we do is scheduling when we do that Grizz Classic. We do what every other university does. We send out a mass email and said, "Hey, this is what we're doing. These are the dates." And I usually send out what the average temperature is and things like that.
You're honest.
And I'm
about
honest.
It. Okay.
And usually that weekend, we're in the low 50s. So I mean, and
balmy.
Yeah, compared to now. But last year we were lucky. We had Omaha and Nevada in and had a good weekend and had a good turnout. And then they're coming in. We got to be careful with Maine though. They're an NCAA team. They won their conference last year and played well in the NCAA tournament. They showed well. So there's quite a few NCAA tournament teams that are sprinkled throughout that schedule. And when I was putting that schedule together, I wasn't looking to run into several Pac-12 schools, but it's the way it turned out, and we'll play them.
When they come to your school, do they bring you like trinkets from? Can they bring you some some lobster from Maine, and then Seattle some Ivers chowder, and then we could have like a sports talk tonight party.
Then they can bring it, and then we can go out and tailgate.
Yeah, there you go.
No, but I mean, Seattle is interested because
that's Seattle University.
Yes, we played. We tried to play there last year when we played at UW. We played some games at UW, and we were supposed to play a morning game or early afternoon game at UW, and then go over to Seattle. But our games that were at Seattle U were washed out because they were the evening games, so we didn't get an opportunity. And we played 3 innings against Bradley, and they had a dirt infield and a turf outfield. Well, he's interested in our field, so they're coming over to see if it might be worth going full turf. And there's several schools in the country that are starting to go to that. So.
Well, yeah, Seattle, a rainy area, Maine, a cold climate like this. Neither of those teams are going to be unaccustomed to what Missoula has to offer on March 17th, I would think.
I have a question on the field. Now, even though it's supposed to be like grass, does it skip more than it does in the dirt? Does it, on that first hop?
Oh, when we played UW in the fall, if it's damp, it has a tendency to still skip, but so does grass in the outfield. But the infield will skip, which a lot of players are not used to. But we haven't had a real problem with it, and I've still been amazed. We're two years in with this, and the infield most of the time plays like an infield, except when it was wet. Early in the game, when we played Washington this fall, it was damp from little rain showers early in the afternoon, but as it dried out, it played more true. But the outfield turf will play like grass, but it'll skip like grass too if it hits it when it's wet. So it's not too bad.
I assume that Maine, I think you kind of alluded to this, they obviously tried to pick up more than one game out in the western half of the United States.
Right.
That's a long way to go for one game against Montana.
It's probably like us when we go on spring break. Our spring break falls later than most, but what a lot of these teams will do is their conference starts, I think, maybe even a week later than ours, and but their spring break is in mid-March rather than where ours is at. So what they'll try to do is pick up 5 games in a tournament before. They'll pick up some games on the way up to Missoula, midweek games. I think they're playing Utah State. Not sure on that, but I think they're playing someone. It might even be BYU or both. Mm-hmm. And then they come in here, and then they'll play 5 games here. So they'll pick up 10 to 12 games in 10 days.
And you mentioned they were an NCAA tournament team last season. Do you know much about that conference? Is that a...
Well, it's just that they were the conference tournament winner. I'm sure. I haven't really focused on Maine yet. I will as we get later in the year. We're really paying attention to some very good. It's kind of this tournament. You and I, when it was brought to my attention, I knew of the tournament when I was at Iowa State, but we always went south and never played there. But Drake is always a good Missouri Valley team. You and I pretty well handled us last year, and they have a lot of players. They lost some pieces, but they still have their pitching staff back. South Dakota State got us a couple of years ago. We're hoping that maybe that we can exact some revenge there. And we play Toledo, who we've never played, and there's one more on there that we opened with Omaha, so we split with them last year. So it's kind of a good mid-major. He wanted a kind of an FCS feel to it, and he does a great job there.
Yeah.
Wisconsin's there also in that tournament. We're playing Toledo rather than Wisconsin, so sometimes different schools, smaller schools they bring in some larger what people perceive as headliners, and we didn't draw Wisconsin, but we drew Toledo.
All right, so round robin format, how many teams will you have the opportunity to play out of all those?
We'll play all of them but Wisconsin.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, so which is kind of a disappointment, but Toledo we haven't I like playing teams that we haven't seen, and over my career I've seen Wisconsin quite a bit. I haven't played Toledo, so it's kind of a personal bias. I've never played Toledo, so it's going to be kind of fun.
Cool, and indoors, no snow.
That's right.
Sounds like sounds like a good time.
Don't hit the ball too high. But
the last time a Montana team went into that dome, they won a game. So.
There you go. Yeah.
Well, maybe I'm hoping maybe a little of that Grizz magic will wear off and we can take another one from the Panthers. But UNI is usually Ryan Jacobs does a nice job. They've won some Missouri Valley Conference titles with him, and they're a good ball club, and they have their pitching back. They've lost a couple of pieces, but it's kind of where our focus is. But that we play Oregon twice, we play Utah, we play Cal. The toughest tournament that might be lining up outside of Hawaii, where we have Oregon twice, might be taking McKenna McGill and Haley Young back home, back to my alma mater and where I started my head coaching career. They usually put on a nice tournament. I said, we'll take them back to Tulsa, and they'll get to play at home. And Tulsa's an NCAA team, Wichita State's an NCAA team, and Cal's an NCAA team. So that's going to might be the toughest tournament that we're in, and we pick up another Pac-12. We go all the way to Tulsa, Oklahoma to play Cal. So but that's going to be a really exciting, especially for those young ladies getting to go home and play. I try to get them back to their hometowns once in their career.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. Well, awfully early in practice and everything, but what jumps out at you? What do you really like about your team so far this year?
Yesterday morning, everyone comes back and has their strength and conditioning test. I thought they had some presence to them. Generally, there's a certain percentage, whether it's injury or not being able to get outside. There's sometimes some people fail the test initially. Since I've been here, that was the most that had passed the conditioning test. 16 or 17, I think 16 passed out of the 20 young ladies, which is a high number. And then in the past, it had been lower than that. We've made progress there. So I think just the maturity and the presence that they had, that they went through it, the mental toughness. They've been there before, so they weren't stressed about it. And then we were surprisingly sharp. But it's kind of like your golf game. That first time back, you hit the ball well, you fielded the ball well. But I like the way we bounced back, and we hit the ball pretty decent today. So I'm hoping maybe they did a lot of work in their off season. So, but that's what stood out. They seem to have a presence. They seem to have experience. They don't seem to have that stress level. They have that I've been here before type attitude, and that'll bode well for us.
Yep. No more deer in the headlights.
Yeah. Juniors and seniors there now.
Yes, sir.
One senior.
Lots of juniors.
Juniors and senior.
Sprinkled with some sophomores and freshmen. Hey, well, we're going to take one more quick break while we have Coach Pinkerton here, and we're going to talk about the Meet the Team fundraiser that's happening here in the very near future when we come back on Sports Talk Tonight with Gurnz and Bedard.
The savings continue into the new year at CHS Mountain West Cooperative. It's cold outside, and when it's time to do outside chores, you need to keep your hands warm. So choose insulated rubber-dipped work glove, Frosty Grip Glove by Boss, just $4.99. That's a $5 savings during January hot buys. Stay warm with great savings on flannel shirts, coveralls, work boots, and so much more. CHS Mountain West Co-op in Missoula and Ronan.
One-stop ranch and home store, Mountain West Cooperative.
Downhill skiing, cross-country skiing, snowshoeing, snowmobiling, snowboarding, sledding, tubing, winter in Montana. To enjoy all those activities, you probably have to drive someplace, and that someplace can be a little rugged. You need snow traction and knowledge that you can only get at Jerry Wessel's Les Schwab Tire Center in Hamilton. Like a veteran ski instructor, they can make sure you have the right equipment and get you headed in the right direction with the right tires. Take the worry out of winter driving with a free pre-trip safety inspection at Jerry Wessel's Les Schwab Tire Center, Hamilton.
No matter if it's fall and you're getting ready for the football tailgate, winter and you're having friends over to watch the basketball game, or spring and you're stocking up for a weekend of baseball and softball, at Grizzly Liquor we have all of your wine, spirits, and party supplies. With over 2,000 liquors, hundreds of wines, and a wide selection of mixers, ice, hostess gifts, and the largest selection of Montana-made spirits in the West, we're ready to help you get ready for the big game. We are downtown at 110 West Spruce, next to the Iron Horse, open Monday through Saturday 9 to 7:30. Grizzly Liquor, Big Sky, big selection.
Sports Talk Tonight, live from the KGVO studio.
Missoula Sports.
We are back. Sports Talk Tonight, Gurnz and Bedard. Brought to you in part by Bell McCall Ford. Great selection on new and used cars, trucks, and SUVs. Great deals on 2016 closeouts. Your locally owned low-cost auto dealer for over 100 years in downtown Hamilton. And by Granite Pharmacy, locally owned and operated pharmacy on South Avenue between Shopko and Big Sky High School. Find them at granitepharmacy.com. Another sponsor of ours, Access Fitness. You know what, Denny? I believe the only gym in town that does not charge you an initiation fee or makes you sign a contract, which is
nice options.
Which is a big come and go as you please.
Flexibility.
Month. That's right. Clean as heck too. You should see the owner down there on his hands and knees with towels and mops and stuff. It's quite interesting. But still with us in the studio, Jamie Pinkerton, head coach for the Montana softball program, and we got something pretty fun and pretty special coming up here pretty quick.
Yes, the Meet the Team dinner's coming up February 3rd. It's on a Friday night this year because of the Grizz Cat basketball weekend. We usually try to couple it on a Saturday evening after the Lady Grizz play in an afternoon game, but the way to do it the week before the season starts, kind of a season preview,
right?
And it's coming up February 3rd, 5:30 to 6:30 social hour. 6:30 the dinner program starts. It's at the Holiday Inn downtown Missoula once again, and Karen, her staff has done a great job the last 2 years, and we're really looking forward to doing it again. Yeah. Last year, I think we had close to 280 guests. The first year, we were around 240. And right now, we're right at 200, 210. So
oh, wow.
We're ahead of where we have been the last 2 years. And
I think Friday, you know what? People getting off of work, and they got to go eat and have drinks after work, and might even be a better night.
Well, I was a little concerned at first, but it seems we're going to be all right. So I think the softball community here in Missoula and the surrounding area and western Montana has supported it, and it's really turned out to be a really, really fun event.
Gee, I was going to write up a public service announcement schedule for you, give you some free ads to boost it. I don't think I need to do that. And you owe us a favor. This is good practice for you because it says right here that the crowd will hear a season outlook from Jamie Pinkerton. So, this is good practice for you to do.
Well, Grizzly Bill puts me on the spot, and he'll ask some questions. And
is he the MC?
Yes, he's been gracious enough.
Bill Schwanke's the MC.
He's been gracious the last 2 years to do it, and he keeps the program. I mean, he's just great, and he's become a close friend over. We came here and met him when we got into town and started going to church. We go to St. Paul Lutheran, and he was real accepting of. Just happened to go the first time. I don't get to go a lot because of recruiting in the season, but my wife and son's pretty involved, and that's how we've become pretty good close, and he's been great.
Gurnz, I don't know how that slipped through the cracks. If there was ever another guy that should be a member of the house band, It's probably Bill Schwanke.
You know what? Why don't we give you know what? Let's get that done.
All right.
In the near
All right.
future.
We have Tori Hill booked next week. Tori, former.
Sorry, Bill.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what though, Grizzly Bill Schwanke, and he was broadcasting. I think the first couple years of when I got here, and then of course Mick Holine took over. But what a member of the community. He's still involved. Doing stuff like that, emceeing. He does the occasional game. He'll fill in. He does some high school stuff. I mean,
find a member of the community that has any modicum of interest in sports. They know Bill Schwanke.
Exactly.
So, we have next week a scheduled guest is former University of Montana Lady Grizz basketball player Tori Hill, who is a coach now at Florence High School. And I think if I've got this right, she's the head coach of the freshmen and is an assistant on the varsity. She can clear that up if I've got it wrong, but it's something to that effect.
I don't want to know until next week.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I didn't see you taking notes there. Or anything like that. But maybe we can entice Grizzly Bill to pop in now and then. He's fun to talk to.
He's got a few stories, you think?
Not to take away from Jamie's time, too, but talking about banquets and in honor of and all those things, we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about head coach Robin Selvig. Are you going to get a chance to go to that, Jamie?
Absolutely. It's Friday night. My plan is I guess I got to go buy a ticket. So I saw some tickets laying around today around the office. Melanie Michael has them. So I guess I didn't think I just could show up, but that's probably something I need to take care of tomorrow.
Yeah. That is Friday evening, and then and you're right. I think there's not a lot of tickets. They said seating is kind of limited, but there are some. If you can't break into Jamie's office or whatever, I think you can find them at the Adams Center ticket office as well. And then at halftime of the Lady Grizz game on Saturday against Sacramento State, and I'm sure Robin just does not want to do any of this because that's the kind of guy he is, but he knows it's the right thing to do. There'll be a ceremony of sorts at halftime of the Lady Grizz game as well on Saturday. So
what a guy! One of the first coaches that introduced himself, and he was a men's fast pitch player. So that's something.
Did not know that.
He came up and said that he loved the sport and was one of the first coaches to greet me when I moved here in September 2013. So great career. I don't know if I could last 38 years, but great career. 800 wins. Not very many guys have that in collegiate basketball. So
not many people have that many wins anywhere. And he's I tell you what,
success story.
Successful that well for that long is just flat out amazing.
So the banquet will be good, and the ceremony. I'll probably have to do a lot of reading from the public address table. I hope I don't get. Maybe he'll do all the talking. Maybe I won't have to do much. I hope I don't get choked up when I'm trying to do it, though.
Oh, Danny. Yeah. Don't choke.
All right.
Up.
Don't choke. Don't choke. Make sure you call him by the right name.
That's right. That's right. Well, you know what? I think we're just going to have to keep Coach Pinkerton here for the whole show.
Well, if he's willing to stay,
I've
he needs to practice his, what is it here? So here's the season outlook. He needs to practice that.
That's right.
Got a big banquet coming up February 3rd.
Did we say where to call to get tickets?
Oh, no. We started talking about banquets. You can go to Go Grizz and get the information. Go to the softball page and click through some things. Joel Carlson wrote up an article. But if you're interested, call Melanie Michael at 406-243-4338, or you can email her or myself. I can get it in the right hands. But Melanie is the one that keeps everything in line and does a great job with it. We all put in a lot of hours, but Melanie does a great job organizing this, and once again we'll have a lot of live auction items, raffle auction, silent auction. It is a fundraiser for the softball program, and it's really a great evening. When we started doing it that first year, I just told Melanie, just buy some pizzas and 30 people show up. We break even, can talk a little bit of softball, and first night out, we have over 200 people. So it's just like the first game out at Frenchtown, 700 people showing up.
Amazing.
Anything that Grizz Nation does in the Missoula softball community, or just like I said, just regular Grizz fans coming. We have a a wide variety. Football fans, basketball fans, they show up, and
and it's reasonable too. Tickets are $30 for adults, $20 for children 12 and under, and that's pretty good. What are we sitting on? January 18th, so we've still got about 15, 16 days to go for you to be at the 200-person ticket level. I think that's pretty impressive. Good job.
We've been fortunate. Like I said, the fan base has been great to us, and Missoula community. I think we were 38th in attendance last year. I think someone told me, and
there's a lot of softball programs out there.
What are you hearing from fans? Obviously, nice things, but I mean, what do fans like to talk to? Because it's again kind of using. I get the sense that again using Lady Grizz basketball as a parallel here. That's a family environment. I think a lot of those fans sort of look at those players as their daughters or their granddaughters. I don't know what, but they're just very comfortable and very familiar, and they want to get to know you. That's got to be nice.
Well, and there's a lot of they're role models to young players, and then there's a lot of high school players in Western Missoula, Western Montana, and even Montana that want to be Grizz softball players. We're the only Division I in the state. And,
that's right.
And so I think that has something to do with it. What a lot of people talk about, and we started this. I'd never seen it. We'd done it one year at Iowa State, and I thought that it's kind of neat to thank people for coming to the game. And what we do is I think that's what I hear about from a lot of our fans. It's no one else does it, and I think there could be some criticism that there's too much easy access, and if we stopped doing it, we probably would get criticism for stopping. But after the game, win or lose, we shake hands with the other team, and I always warn the other coach, when we're done and you go to left field, we're going through your dugout to go to the front gate, and our players go out and thank the fans for coming, and they stand in two lines and shake hands and high five, and I think that's been one of the positives. Obviously a lot of people love the park, and they're looking forward to the day that we get it completed. I think it's going to be a great venue when we can get the fans on top of the other team rather than all the way around the field. It's still a loud park, as if you were at the Weber State game last year when we had the walk-off, it was absolutely bedlam. But if we can get everybody in one area and maybe yell at their dugout a little bit, but I think people are eager to see the field progress and build up, and they're honestly interested in the growth and maturation of the program. So there's a lot of topics, and everyone has their favorite players, and it's just kind of really really neat. And that's probably one of the biggest feedbacks we had is having the student athletes go out and thank everybody for coming.
Yeah, that is a nice touch. I commend you on that. That's a smart gesture.
Yeah, that's
a good one.
And you talk about different sports venues and arenas, and when you're playing football, the fans, unless they go down on the field, they never, we don't even know what they look like because they got helmets on.
Yeah.
You get the basketball, and it's a little more intimate, and you can see expressions and attitudes and stuff. But that's just a great way to really let fans feel like they might be a part of something.
And another the fan base, thank people for spending their cold, hard-earned money to come watch a softball game and support us.
And the fan base that you're probably building, and this is a shrewd move here, is that if the fans know about that, do you think there is any little kid in that crowd that's going to let mom and dad take them home early? Whether the game is in doubt after 5 or whatever. No little kid is going to want to leave that game early because he or she is going to want to high five the players after the game.
Exactly.
Denny, I'm not that smart.
Way to sell more popcorn.
I didn't do it for that reason. But, that's a great point.
You just sold another 100 pizzas there, Pinkerton, on that deal. Good. No, but I don't mean that negatively. I think that's a good thing. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure that the moms and dads appreciate that a lot too. So I like that.
Well, hey, we're going to take one more break.
Yes,
when
sir.
we come back, still with Coach Pinkerton, we're going to talk about some basketball, some other stuff going on in Grizzland, some NFL football, and we'll have Stupid and Steel when we come back. Sports Talk Tonight, Gurnz and Bedard.
It's that time of year again where people make the decision to lose weight. Don't be fooled by programs that offer quick weight loss or melting fat away. The Peak offers a weight loss program that will help you change your lifestyle and lose weight. Hi, I'm Denise Zimmer, registered dietitian at the Peak. We are excited to announce Lose It at the Peak starting January 26. Our 8-week program will help you change your life, eating and exercise habits through education, exercise, and encouragement, resulting in shedding of unwanted pounds. For more information, call me at the Peak at 239-0078.
No matter if it's fall and you're getting ready for the football tailgate, winter and you're having friends over to watch the basketball game, or spring and you're stocking up for a weekend of baseball and softball, at Grizzly Liquor we have all of your wine, spirits, and party supplies. With over 2,000 liquors, hundreds of wines, and a wide selection of mixers, ice, hostess gifts, and the largest selection of Montana-made spirits in the West, we are ready to help you get ready for the big game. We are downtown at 110 West Spruce, next to the Iron Horse, open Monday through Saturday 9 to 7:30. Grizzly Liquor, big sky, big selection.
The savings continue into the new year at CHS Mountain West Cooperative. It's cold outside, and when it's time to do outside chores, you need to keep your hands warm. So choose insulated rubber-dipped work glove, Frosty Grip Glove by Boss, just $4.99. That's a $5 savings during January hot buys. Stay warm with great savings on flannel shirts, coveralls, work boots, and so much more. CHS Mountain West Co-op in Missoula and Ronan.
One-stop ranch and home store, Mountain West Cooperative.
If you're flying out of town for 5 days or more, protect your vehicle at Vigilante Parking on the Fly. No shuttle. You park your car at the airport and we pick it up. Don't leave your car out there with those crazy car wolves. We are safe, and we also have garage parking, the ultimate in pampered car care. Clean, safe, and for less. Why wouldn't you? When your flight arrives home, we have your vehicle waiting for you at the airport. No shuttle, no waiting, just ready. If you're flying out of town for 5 days or more, stay safe at Vigilante Parking on the Fly. Make your reservation Monday through Friday at 549-4111.
Now back to Missoula's Sports Talk Tonight on KGVO.
Missoula Sports.
Every second of every day.
And you are back. Sports Talk Tonight, Gurnz and Bedard. Brought to you in part by Jerry Wessels Tire Center, located locally owned Les Schwab Tire Center. Provides the best tire value promise. Visit them online at jerrywesselstirecenter.com. And by CHS Mountain West Co-op, Western Montana source for Cynic's fuel, feed, fertilizer, clothing, and tack for over 75 years. And our guest, Coach Jamie Pinkerton, brought to you as always by First Montana Bank, your home for free Centennial checking plus unlimited cash back every time you use your debit card. Online at firstmontanabank.com.
During the bumper, I said to you, are you doing stupid first? But I meant to say steel because you always do steel first. So I hope you're ready for the
Do
steel.
whatever you want.
All right, it's time for Scott Gurnsley's Steel of the Week. And that's brought to you by True North Steel, Western Montana's industry leader in quality, manufactured, and fabricated steel products. They bring you Scott Gurnsley's Steel of the Week.
Well, Denny, this is the NFL playoffs, and games are won and lost by a single play. Everything's kind of tooth and nail, and you're on the edge of your seats. And the Steel of the Week is going to be the happened during the Dallas-Green Bay football game. Green Bay kind of took it to Dallas, had the edge most of the game. Dallas makes a great comeback to take a lead. Green Bay kicks a 50-something yard field goal. There were 3 50-yard field goals.
Yeah, I think, and that first one was the longest. I think that was the 56-yarder, maybe, something like that.
And Green Bay takes a lead, and Dallas drives down and kicks the field goal. Bailey to take, to tie the ball game.
Tie the game. I think that was a 52-yarder.
And I'm thinking, and I don't know, and I like 44 seconds left in the game, and as soon as they kick that field goal, I'm thinking, too much time, too much time. It's Aaron stinking Rodgers, too much time, and on I believe it was third down.
It was.
Aaron Rodgers rolling to his left throws a 35-yard pass, which it was more like a 45-yard pass, because by the time that it got there, right on the sideline, perfect grab, walk out. They call it. Mason Crosby comes out and kicks a field goal, and it's good, but they had called timeout. Mm-hmm. Does it again from 51 yards.
Yeah, it was a measly little chip shot 51 this time around.
And steals the victory away from the Cowboys when you kind of thought it might have been going to overtime.
I think it was 3rd and 20 as well. It was 3rd and very long, and he had to roll to his left, not his right, and that catch. But you're right. Yeah. That was
one of the only times I was rooting for the Cowboys in my life.
That's brought to you by True North Steel, Western Montana's industry leader in quality manufactured and fabricated steel products.
Boy, and okay, on to the stupid athlete,
Yes, sir.
Denny. And this was an easy one, hands down. They say what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. What happens in the locker room stays in the locker room.
I know what's coming here.
After a great victory, Pittsburgh Steelers all fired up in the locker room. Antonio Brown, who is arguably the best wide receiver in the NFL, and the guy that I really like, he just seems like he's always having a good time, and he's dancing, and he's not really being too much of a jerk. But he decides he wants to Facebook Live video his head coach's post-game speech, where he called the Patriots a-holes.
Not nice things.
But in the scope of a locker room, I've heard worse things. Let me tell you.
He was talking like a head football coach in a locker room that he thought was in total privacy.
And he's filming. There's bare butts. It's locker room. It's right after a game.
Yes.
It's something you just do not do, and it went live everywhere. So just unneeded drama. Locker room fodder for the New England Patriots. With all you got going on, now you're worrying about this stuff. And Antonio Brown has since come out and just caught up in the emotion of the thing and whatever. But you got to be smart at that. That is my stupid athlete of the week.
And then that's the right thing to do. That's good public relations, but it doesn't matter now.
No.
It's like what are the Patriots going to do? Just we're like a jury. We'll strike that from our mental records.
And you know what? I guarantee you the Pittsburgh Steelers are calling them a lot worse names than just that.
Could very well be.
But keep it in-house regardless. But boy, the NFL games this weekend, I tell you what, they didn't turn out how I was picking them, Denny. I tell you that.
I didn't remember. I thought that I was pretty pleased that I think I've only missed one total because I got them all right the first weekend, and I only missed one this past weekend. But I thought you were in the same boat, and I'm thinking, doggone it, I picked Kansas City, but Guernsey picks Pittsburgh, so that's going to even us back up.
No, I picked Kansas City, actually, Denny. I pretty much sucked.
And I feel much better.
I sucked. Denny, in the first game, Atlanta won. You and Riley picked Atlanta. I picked Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
In the third game, so you guys won and I lost.
Mm-hmm.
Kansas City Pittsburgh game, we picked Kansas City. We were rooting with Coach Pinkerton there.
Yes.
Riley picked Pittsburgh. You and I lost. Riley won. And then the other game, you picked Green Bay. Me and Riley picked Dallas. I lost again. That's 3 in a row. And then the New England one, which was kind of the easiest one to pick, although it was a closer game than I thought it was going to be, we all won. How'd you see those games coming out, Coach, after they're all said and done?
Well, excuse me, the New England Texan game, I thought, like you all, it was closer than I thought, even though I was hoping that, the Chiefs would take care of business and have the Texans come back to Kansas City. The Kansas City-Pittsburgh game, you start, the fandom takes over, and Pittsburgh was probably hotter than Kansas City. I thought they looked more physical than Kansas City. And Kansas City was quick, but whenever you can shut off Justin Houston and Ali and all of those guys and not have any sacks and put pressure. But then Seattle and Atlanta, I thought Atlanta once again was hot. I wanted to Seattle-Kansas City Super Bowl, but I could see Atlanta winning that. And then the Green Bay Dallas game, I figured Green Bay would find a way to win, but I was kind of indifferent in that game. I can't pull for Green Bay because my wife's a Vikings fan.
All right.
Another one.
But, I don't know how you let a receiver catch I'm not a football coach, nor am I a football player, but I am a football fan, and I don't understand on 3rd and 20 how you let someone get 35 yards downfield.
Yeah, it happens, though. I think it's happened maybe more this season than we've seen in quite a while.
But I am I'm hoping for a Pittsburgh-Atlanta Super Bowl.
So are those your picks?
Those are my picks.
And those are my picks.
And since it's NCAA rules, I'm non-wagering. Going.
This is friendly.
Yes.
Yeah. This is friendly. We're going to make.
But thank you for clearing that up.
Yeah.
So Denny, we've both Coach Pinkerton and myself are taking Atlanta and Pittsburgh. Who are you taking?
Man. I suppose in the interest of trying to win, I'd better pick Green Bay and New England.
Well, I know why you're picking Green Bay.
Yeah. Honestly, I just want the NFC to win. So Atlanta, Green Bay, fine with either one. I want them to be the Super Bowl champs. But They pulled off one upset for me. Man, that's going to be something though. But I'll go with Green Bay, and I'll change that. I'll pick Pittsburgh. I'll pick Green Bay and Pittsburgh.
Wow.
That's what I want. It's going to be hard to take the Patriots out, but
Well, I tell you what.
I don't know what all I'm basing that on. Is that maybe the New England offense might be just a little bit shaky against a very good defense.
But you watched them last week against the Texans, and they, there's chinks in their armor. And then I go back to when Seattle went into New England and totally demolished New England. So it's not like they're
regular season.
It's not like they're invincible. It's not like Rob Gronkowski's coming back and playing, and the defense is just kind of so-so this year.
I have not looked at any weather forecasts. I don't know if weather is a factor.
I have not either. But I know that it gets nasty in Pittsburgh. So
well, yeah. I mean, I'm not saying it's going to affect one team more than the other, but hopefully there won't be a phantom ice storm.
Yeah, it wasn't sunny and 80 in Kansas City.
Yeah. But they rescheduled that game to the evening because they were worried about the dreadful ice storm.
It never happened.
I don't know that it really materialized too bad, did it?
No, never happened. For those of you interested, the Hall of Fame of Baseball was announced today. The three guys getting in: Jeff Bagwell, Tim Raines, and Ivan Pudge Rodriguez. Three guys that kind of not big name Hall of Famers, but good players over the years. A lot of longevity.
I was just going to say
in their careers, did it well for a long time. Interesting. You have to get 75% of the vote to get into the Hall of Fame, and some also Rans. Kurt Schilling, 45%. Barry Bonds, 53%. Sammy Sosa, 54%. Or excuse me, Roger Clemens, 54%. And Sammy Sosa, 8.6%.
Wow.
Which you can tick off every one of those guys, and they're probably PED guys, more than likely.
And how many tries do you get? I mean, you don't stay in the ballot year after year. There's a ceiling on that.
I think you stay on if you get a certain percentage of
it.
You stay on up to 15 years.
Yeah, and then it's something like you had to get 5% to stay on the
15
ballot.
years, yeah, 5% to stay on, and then it might be 10.
All right, that's a little more difficult. It's
and
a little
then
easier.
And then you can be voted on by the Veterans Committee if you so that happens for you. But anyways, I got a beef. Why are the Jayhawks not number one in the NCAA basketball poll? They were number 2 last week, and they're not number 1. Villanova leapfrogs them.
Yeah, Villanova circumnavigated and went back to the top there.
Whatever.
They'll be a number 1 seed. Don't worry, guys.
University of Montana Grizzly basketball had 2 victories over the weekend. 89-76. Who was that against? Denny, I wrote the
They beat Northern Colorado by about 18 or 20 points, somewhere in there. And then that was on Thursday, and
Saturday
then
was North Dakota.
I'm reading sideways instead of up and down. UM 76, North Dakota 70, and UM 89, Northern Colorado 68.
Yeah.
Lady Grizz dropped a couple, but had a really good outing against North Dakota, the top team in the conference.
Fascinating statistic that maybe people are getting tired of by right now. They scored 63 points against North Dakota, which for them is a rather large scoring output. 61 of them scored by freshmen.
Wow.
And then
wouldn't that have been something if they could have all been freshmen?
Sophomore Sierra Anderson pitched in 2.
Wow.
That's so weird.
Grizz on the road this week at Portland State on Thursday, at Sac State on Saturday.
We will be on the air at 7:30 both nights.
The Lady Grizz at home against Portland State on Thursday, and on the road at Sac State. So, hey, thank you, Coach Pinkerton, for joining us.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Good luck to see. We'll talk to you before the season gets going, I'm sure.
Deal.
And we will see you next week on Sports Talk Tonight. Gurnz and Bedard, we are out of here.
KGVO Missoula, KGVO Frenchtown.
AM 1290, 101.5 and 98.3 FM on translator K250 2FP.
News Talk, KGVO.